Welcome to August. We've got some essential strength training today. So go ahead and grab your dumbbells and let's go. All right, killer bees, let's go ahead and get moving and grooving. And that means that we're going to have our dumbbells completely out of the way. And I'm so proud of myself for remembering that. And we're going to get started with some arm circles with high knees, you guys. Welcome to the workout. I'm Paula B. I'm your best middle-aged fitness friend. And around here, we are all about making peace with your menopausal body by finding a healthy weight and, my favorite part, moving in ways that feel like self-love. And oh my gosh, does this already feel like self-love the way I'm completely knocking myself out of balance on the warm-up? Yeah. All right, let's just take a nice deep breath. Sink on into it, because here's what it looks like today. It looks a lot like this. It looks like me singing, wobbling and bobbling, feeling so good because today is strength training day. And I know that some of you are not going to be singing about strength training day. Some of you are like, well, Paula, I'm here because it's good for me. I'm here because you said it was essential. I'm here because you said that I might be missing out if I don't do this. And my friends, you're missing out on a great conversation if you don't do this workout, and you might be missing out on some really important bone, brain, muscle, core strengthening, full body benefits. Let's go ahead and do some arm crossers with booty kickers. You guys, I'm going to start off with my standard warning, because today is all strength and no cardio. Your Fitbit might not recognize today, but as often is the case, the other day, I'm going to tell you a quick story. The other day, my husband and I went out for a walk, and we had just gotten back from something or other where I noticed that my watch needed to be charged. So I was charging my watch, and we went out to walk the dog, and we were like, I was literally still on the driveway, and I was like, oh my gosh, my watch. And my husband's like, you can go back and get it, but like, your body knows what you're doing. You don't really need credit for the steps. It's so true. Your body is going to be so happy with today's workout, even if your Fitbit doesn't register it. Even if you do that thing where you're like, I burned 12 calories. Let's go ahead and do some welcome to my homes. You're going to burn more than 12 calories. I mean, it doesn't matter how many you burn. You're burning calories literally every minute of every day that you are ever alive. It doesn't really matter that we elevate our burn a lot when we're exercising. That is not how we lose weight. It's not even the biggest benefit of what we're doing for our body today. Today, we are picking up not very heavy things and putting them back down again. And let me just tell you what it's about, like before we even do anything else, so that we can get started on the actual workout. I've got the handy dandy gym bus set for intervals of 45 seconds of work and 15 seconds of rest, even though we're not picking up very heavy things, even though this is not meant to be anything other than moderate work, lovely, beautiful work today. But here's what I notice. I notice in myself that sometimes when we go directly from one exercise to the other, that I'd really like to finish one rep. So I've given us a little bit of rest today. And here, let's go ahead and get started. I'll tell you more about strength training as we're going. Go ahead and grab your dumbbells. We're going to start with a side kick, press up, which is exactly what it sounds like. You're going to start with the weights here on your shoulders. You're going to kick out to one side while pressing up with the other. And that is where, oh, come on, gym boss. There you are, friend. Side kick, press up. This is when we're already starting. Oh, the balance work today. We're balancing. We're thinking about our brain-body connection. As my dear friend, whose name I don't remember, and you guys don't ever be offended if I don't remember your name. You tell me the funniest things. I read all of your comments, and you say the funniest things, the most enlightening things, the most interesting things to me, but I don't always remember your names. There's 200,000 of you at this point. But whenever I say brain-body connection, I think of one of my friends who mentioned that every time I say that, she starts singing the Rainbow Connection from Kermit the Frog. And I couldn't be more tickled about that. I absolutely love it. Blossom, are you going to come join us? Here's 15 seconds of rest. By the way, we're going to do split stance side raises next. So go ahead and get into your split stance. I'm going to have my left foot forward first, just because that's not the way I automatically want to do this. Put whatever kind of stance feels best to you. We're doing a side raise from this. which means that we're standing here in a very static stance. This is balance work. I'm sure you notice it. My legs are a little bit wobbly. So if you need to have your feet closer together, like less of a split and more of a stance, whatever works for you, my friends. Balance is always, always, always a practice. We don't ever have to be good at it, except on those very rare occasions when we need our balance, and that's why we practice it. I know, I'm singing a lot today. I love strength training. Singing is essential to me. I was telling you something about the brain-body connection. I was telling you something about lots of things. Let's just go ahead and move forward with this. Oh, that's what I was going to tell you. Today is knee-friendly. I didn't mention that yet. Absolutely no squatting, no lunging, other than the split stance, which you can modify to whatever you need. We're doing high knee peekaboos next. And we're working on balance a lot. That was what I was going to tell you, even while we were already practicing our balance. We're moving nice and slowly today. So high knee peekaboos, which means that there is no rest from the peekaboo position, but we do get a little bit of a rest from our balance. So one high knee comes up at a time. Our elbows start off close together and then finish up wide apart. Hands are, mine are a little bit over my eyebrows here. Your elbows are at about shoulder height. Now here's the thing. This might feel amazing to you. It might feel terrible to you. What I'd like you to think about is pulling this motion from the middle of your back. When your core is pulled in tightly, and you are working from the middle of your back, even if your elbows are a little bit lower, that's totally okay. The elbows being high brings in your pectoralis major muscles in your chest, which is really nice because then you're getting the whole shoulder complex. See, there's that last rep that I wanted to finish. And then, we're bringing it right down. Okay, coming up next, we're doing another split stance. So this is up to you. We're gonna do 2 circuits of the whole thing. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same-sided split stance, left leg forward, both times this time so that I don't have to figure it out. Find your split stance, find your balance, stand up straight with your weight met. What word am I trying to say? We're doing curls. Your weight is balanced. It wasn't what I was trying to say though. It's somewhere in between your feet. Your center of balance is in the middle of your body. I think I was trying to say something about midline or something like that. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know. Point being, elbows really tucked into your waist here. When you feel your elbows move off of your waist, that's not just your biceps working. That's your whole shoulder, and that's fine. Other than if we're trying to work your biceps, let's actually work your biceps by isolating them, more or less. Whew, I tell you where I feel this though is in my legs. Let's go ahead and come out of that split stance. Coming up next, we're doing crossbody crunches. You're going to have your hands up here at your shoulders with your elbows wide, wide, wide. Again, really thinking about pulling from the middle of your back. You're going to bring your opposite elbow towards your opposite knee, somewhere in the middle with a crunch. Whatever works for you. You guys, you never have to touch your knee to your elbow. It's not really about that. I think you know that, but I like to tell you that because sometimes we get it in our heads that if we move our body in a certain way that we are therefore automatically doing the work that we're trying to do. This is the brain-body connection, my friends. Just flinging and flying in your body around to try and look like you're doing the same thing as me doesn't mean you're using the same muscles as me. When you are squeezing from your center, really thinking about pulling this work up into your belly, into your core. This is balance work. When we are getting the work from our middle, we are doing it the way I'm intending for you to do it. 15 seconds of rest. Coming up next, we're doing a side kick front raise. Once again, across your body. So your palms are facing your body. Whichever leg goes out to the side, the opposite hand is going to come up in front of you. Here we go. Oh my gosh, really thinking about where my brain and my body are today. When we do this cross-body stuff, this is like my favorite kind of work. This is the kind of thing that I used to resist doing when I used to go to the gym all the time. No, not true at all. When I used to go to the gym, sometimes the first 3 weeks I had my membership before I would quit. When I used to go to the gym though, I would always use machines because I really wanted the machines to like make sure my body was allegedly doing the right thing. But the machines aren't making you work the muscles that you're trying to work either. This is actually why I love free weights. I love building this brain-body connection. Here's 15 seconds of rest. And coming up next, oh, we're doing flying side bends. Okay, so I really got to think about this one because the flying part is easy. The holding my hip straight is the difficult. We're going back and forth, side to side. We're going to just lift up one foot off the ground and do a side bend to the other side. Now the thing about side bends, they're not triangles, and then we're going to go do that on the other side too. With a triangle, which we do sometimes, very similar exercise, you're bending to the side. However, with a triangle, you can jut your hip out. Your whole hip complex is doing this work. With this flying side bend, it's not just your abs and obliques because we are balancing on that one leg. Oh my gosh, really feeling that in my glutes, as well as, of course, my abs and obliques. But you're trying to only bend over as far as your spine will let you go. Because your hip isn't jutting out, there's not a lot of flexibility here. It really is a little motion that, for me, seems to be requiring a lot of effort. Here's 15 seconds of rest. Okay, coming up next, we're doing fruit punch back steps, which of course is a front punch back step. Now this one, have to think about this one again too, because this one we're actually doing same side. Whichever foot steps back, that is the hand that's punching forward. So we're starting with the dumbbells here at our chest, at our shoulders, wherever you'd like to hold them, and punching forward while we step back. Notice how your center of balance is really off here, other than it's still, you know, your center. But throwing one part of your body, your leg back, one part of your body, your arm forward, all of a sudden you have to figure out where your balance is, especially when you've got something a little bit heavy, moderately heavy in your hands. It's different than your regularly weighted leg going behind you. Oh my gosh. And by not going across your body, you're really throwing off like one side and then the other. I don't know if you've noticed, my friends, but I've already gotten a little sweaty from today, whether my Fitbit is counting this or not. Okay, coming up next, we're doing 3-point crunches. This is the last thing in our circuit. We're gonna do the whole circuit one more time, and that's it for the day. Nice and simple, 3-point crunch. Hands at your shoulders, elbows out wide. We're gonna bring both elbows and one knee into a crunch somewhere near about the middle. Now here's what I was thinking about the last time we were doing a crunching thing like this. Sometimes, if you can't get your elbow, all the way to your knees, for one reason or another. Generally speaking, that's going to be, oh my gosh, that's going to be something rather mechanical, meaning that you're trying to stretch something in a way that doesn't really want to be stretched. That is where other muscles might come into play and think, oh, I can help you with this. No, they cannot. You tell those other muscles, specifically your lower back muscles that always volunteer for everything, you tell them to knock it off. As we stand up from this crunch, make sure that you're coming all the way up and out of it, spreading your elbows wide, using those big upper and middle back muscles, you guys. 15 seconds of rest. And we're starting the circuit again. Second time through, it's our charm. It's our second and final time with all of these exercises. Side kick, press up is what we are starting with. I have to think about this. Side kick, press up across your body. One of my lovely bees, very, very recently for me here in real time, I'm filming this a little bit before you're actually going to see it, but just told me a very interesting story about her neurodivergent son who does a lot of cross-body work with occupational therapists and physical therapists, and how that is one of the things that's actually really helpful with, I don't know if the phrase is like neuroatypical. Wow, that didn't come out right at all. Don't even know what I'm trying to say with that. But I thought it was so interesting that what she specifically talked about was how after working with this kind of work, this cross-body kind of work, here's 15 seconds of rest. Split stance side raises is next. I'm going to put my right foot forward, which feels so much more normal and natural to me. I'm so right-footed, so right dominant. But what she was saying is that after doing cross-body work like that he actually had a burst of language. Like language skill is actually related to brain-body work. I watched a TED Talk the other day that was suggested by a woman that I know in my private Facebook group. And she was talking about how the way to like mindfulness, like meditation, is actually by noticing your body. The brain-body connection is so important. And you guys, we lose it. We lose it. And I truly find it to be the more essential skill. I mean, I use the word essential in the title of this video to talk to you about, like, you know, how you're getting your muscles stronger and how that's good for your bones as we age, and how workouts like this, here's 15 seconds of rest, are really good for us as we get older because they're moderate and blah, blah, blah. But truly, brain-body connection, way more essential than all of that. Coming up next, high knee peekaboos. And I have a theory. And it's just a theory. There might be science behind it, but it's not something that I've ever actually studied. Peekaboos are where we have our elbows at about shoulder height, elbows together, elbows far apart. I truly believe that one of the reasons, and it might not even be a reason, I'm going to say one of the things that happens when we gain weight, whether it's a little weight, a lot of weight, for whatever reason we gain weight, one of the things that comes along with weight gain is a loss of the brain-body connection. And I think that there are lots of different reasons for it. I mean, I think sometimes it's because we haven't developed that skill, and it is a skill. It's something you practice. It's something you have to think about. It's something you have to work towards. But I also think that sometimes as we get heavier, I'm going to finish this rep. Oh yeah. That sometimes we kind of do it on purpose. Sometimes we want to lose touch with our body for one reason or another. When it beeps again, split stance curls. I'm going to happily put my right foot forward, elbows tucked away in, palms facing out, and curl. I don't know why that sounded like a joke to me. It's not. We're doing biceps curls. But I think that we lose touch with our bodies. I think for lots of reasons. I'm thinking about lots of different times in my life when I intentionally and unintentionally lost touch with my body. I'm thinking really specifically of times when I was younger and I felt like I was too heavy and I didn't like the way my body looked, and so I stopped paying attention to how it felt inside my body. And I think that developing that connection with myself, first of all, feels very vulnerable. Second of all, feels very fulfilling and feels so right. Here's 15 seconds of rest. I was just finishing that up. Coming up next, we're doing cross-body crunches. It feels so right, but also it's difficult because when you're ignoring your body, it's really easy to accidentally overeat or undereat. Here we go with cross-body crunches. Elbows out wide, really using those big back muscles, reaching across your body, either touching your knee to your elbow or not, whatever works, my friend. Paying attention to your body, feeling the work in your stomach, feeling the work not in your lower back, but in your middle and upper back, feeling your shoulders, pull them back and down, stand up straight and tall, have your core pulled in. Notice all the ways that you have to connect with your body in order to be able to do this work. Connecting with your body is, to me, one of the absolute cornerstones of self-love. When you are connected to your body, it's a lot harder to disrespect it. It's a lot harder to ignore it. It's a lot harder, here's 15 seconds of rest, to either over or under eat, over or under exercise, over or under hydrate, or over or under sleep. When it beeps again, we're doing side kick, front raise. Palms facing your body. Okay. One leg out to the side, opposite hand, coming up in front of you, palm is facing your body, and then palm is facing the ground. Thinking about where that leg is flying. For me, personally, I like to think about my toe pointing forward, almost even leading up with my heel. There's a couple of different ways you can do a side kick, and in different exercises we do side kicks differently. For this one really specifically, I personally am working on my side butt, which I know has a name. But I like calling it a side butt. But I like thinking about really targeting that area, not because it's going to reduce fat from that area, not because it's going to do anything other than make that area stronger. That happens to be one of my weaker muscles. In my buttular area, it is my weakest. When it beeps again, we are doing flying side bends. Even though my glutes in general, very strong, but they're very strong on a front to back basis as opposed to a side to side. Speaking of side, flying side bends, really trying to keep that hip as stable as possible, which, we're keeping our hip stable, and we're also throwing our hip completely off by having that other foot up off the ground. I'm just hovering my foot a couple of inches, but of course even hovering it brings the hovering hip up an inch, which means that it's almost impossible not to kick that hip out. Controlling your body, even if this is a very, very small and wow, wobbly motion, is the point of what we're doing. Okay, I'm gonna concentrate here for a second. Okay, see? There. I know, that was weird, I was quiet. Here's 15 seconds of rest. I'll never do that again. You guys, front punch back step is coming up next. Fruit punch back step. Weights start right here about your shoulder height. We're gonna punch forward. That same side is stepping back. We're not trying to get all of your weight back behind you. It's not really stepping in terms of like transferring your weight, and that actually is the difficulty. That's what makes this such difficult balance work. If you were transferring your weight all the way back, like this was like a reverse lunge, your center of gravity would move back behind you, which would make it a lot easier to have the weight in front of you. But because your leg back there is just kind of flying, and your arm out here in the front is also kind of flying, that means you really have to hold your center of gravity right where it was before both of your limbs moved. Really thinking about pulling that work all the way up into your abs. Your core is doing such a good job right now. My friends, oh my gosh, my core is sweaty right now. 15 seconds of rest, and then you guys, the next exercise, it's the last one in the circuit. We're doing those 3-point crunches again, which happens to be one of my favorites. I kind of stacked the deck in my own favor today because I love 3-point crunches. For being a relatively new exercise, we start with our elbows out wide, really thinking about using the middle of your back, and then we crunch down, raising one high knee at a time. I'm sure this exercise existed in the world before I gave it a name, but I just made this up like somewhat recently. Within the past like 6 months or so, I think. I don't remember ever doing it a long time ago. If I did, it had a different name, as so somewhat frequently happens. But I love this exercise because it's so deceptively simple to both crunch and use your upper back in the same exercise. This is a complex movement that's very simple, and yet getting a lot of bang for our buck, lots of balance for our buck. And we have 15 seconds of rest because we're done, but we're not quite finished. Do you know what's coming next? I know you do. You could start complaining now. It's Drinky Birds. We are alternating though. So here's the thing. Here's what I want you to think about. This is my brain-body connection. This is what I realized, again, somewhat recently. Squeeze the butt of the leg that's going to go flying behind you before you let it go flying behind you. Do you feel that? Do you feel how much stronger that is when you intentionally squeeze that side of your glutes before you move your leg? Let's do it again on the other side. Squeeze your butt and then tip forward. And the way you're tipping forward isn't by bending forward, you're pulling that leg up behind you. That leg pulling up behind you is why your torso is coming forward. You're trying to keep your whole body in a nice straight line, eventually ending up in something that would look like a T if I were that flexible. I am, however, not. So it ends up looking like like an upside down Y or something? I'm not even gonna try and picture that right now. Oh my gosh, you guys, that was it. It was only one interval. It's okay, Blossom. She thought somebody was here. I'm gonna put my weights completely down. I'm gonna turn my timer completely off. I'm gonna feel so good, and I'm not gonna look at how many steps I got for this. We're gonna do some arm circles. I'm not gonna look at my heart rate, because I did actually get pretty sweaty on that one. Not cardio sweaty, but you guys, we already talked about what the essential part of today was. It's not what your watch shows you. It's what your body can do. Now, your body, your beautiful walking, talking, thinking, blinking miracle of a body. It can do anything. It can lose weight. It can get stronger. It can build bones. It can do anything with, nice daily consistent effort. You guys here on screen, I'm gonna have a longer cool down for you. If you don't know that, I have a longer cool down for you. I also, on the other side of the screen, if weight loss is your primary reason for exercising, I have everything that you could possibly want to know about losing weight at 50 and beyond. Let's go ahead and open it up. Stretch out that chest. Oh my gosh, feels so good. And then close it up. Give yourself a big hug. hug and a pat on your moderately sweaty back. You guys, what a good time we had. I didn't sing too much, just a little, just the right amount. Just like everything, the right amount feels really good. It's not too much. It's definitely not too little. It's exactly right, just like today's workout, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me today. I so appreciate having you here. Make sure you subscribe before you go, and I'll see you tomorrow.